Thanks to the support as a channel member, James Holland. All right, fancy people who can read things on the screen that I don't know. It's apparently we do already know what my transfer budget is for the Championship, and it's rubbish. I still don't know, though, because I certainly didn't see it as I was making the video on Friday. So I guess we're going to get I'm going to get a surprise when I learn a piece of information you all already know. Remember, the context of this being, of course, we turned down £15 million for Mr. Tickle, and we'd like to spend some money. Having got promoted to the Championship, I'd like £3 or £4 million to spend. I already know from the comments it's nowhere near that. I mean, it's not ideal, is it? 592,000. Are we sure? Because I've looked. I did go on here before I started recording, and I typed in budget, and it isn't there. I'm not certain. I think some of you are making this up. I don't think we have had it. I think we're still waiting. I think we'll get our actual budgets because, frankly, that can't be the budget, surely. 592,000, 22,000 spare in the wage budget. If we try and drill down on it a little bit further, if we go into here, FFP, we're still talking about League One compliance. So that would make sense in League One. But surely in the Championship, things are going to change, aren't they? Aren't they? I think we can find out what our transfer revenue retained is if we keep pressing this. There we go. So our transfer revenue retained is 70%. So I guess our plan for this summer of transfers, if that really is our budget, and I still refuse to believe that it is, but if that really is our budget, I guess we're selling Mr. Tickle for £15 million if anyone still wants him, and leaving ourselves with about £10 million to spend. Unfortunately, nobody wants him anymore. He's 30 now. He's over the hill. It's going to be an interesting summer. We have work to do regardless, because this squad is certainly not good enough for the Championship. There is a lot of players on the fringes who we probably need to get rid of. And yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, when our second best player is our backup goalkeeper, that certainly says maybe sell your first choice keeper, but he's a League One player. So we've literally got one player who is Championship standard. I mean, to be fair, Mr. Tickle is a decent Premier League player. So we've got one Premier League player, a bunch of League One players, and I bet you don't have to go very far before they become League Two players. He's still League One. Maybe if we go... No. Okay, so we've got a decent League One squad. We go quite a long way down, and they're still considered decent League One players. There you go. So he's a League Two player. So we've got a good League One squad and a Premier League goalkeeper, which might be enough to stay in the Championship. But wouldn't it be fun if we just had a lower half Championship squad and maybe didn't bother with the Premier League goalkeeper? I'm now regretting things. In terms of other saleable assets, Cabia, I mean, if someone wants to give me £9 million for him, he's a good League One. That's a perfect example. He's 26. He's a League One player. Yeah, he was fantastic last season. 7.18 average rating, 19 assists and 5 goals. He was incredible. But if someone wants to give me anywhere from like 7.5 million upwards for him, realistically, we sell him and reinvest the money. Dale Taylor, we've been trying to sell since I've been here. His value is supposedly 3.2 to 5 million. He's 28 years old and has never scored goals for me. I'll take $1 million for him and invest the difference. So there's certainly players we can move on, but clearly we are going to have to move a lot of players on before we can bring anybody in. So I think the first part of this transfer window is going to be getting players out of the door before the 1st of July, seeing what the FFP situation is for the Championship. And I don't think there's a wage cap in the Championship, so I think we can pretty much then pour any transfer budget we generate into wage budget and focus on bringing in free transfers and seeing what we can do from there. It's going to be a challenging one, though. We've only been here a year and a half, but if this summer doesn't go well, we could be job hunting again fairly soon. It is still my official policy that the club finances are none of my business as the first team manager. However, lots of stuff seems to have happened. So we've had a solidarity payment of 700,000. We've avoided paying any tax, which Sounds delightful. Our new commercial summary is in. We have a mysterious new telecommunications company sponsoring us in a £1.9 million 2-year deal. And Murray sells more shirts than anybody, which, I mean, I don't know either. I'm very confused. We've upped our ticket prices because we've been promoted to the Championship. We've got our new scouting budget, which is very large. And our chairman has stuck over £6 million into the club, all of which means our bank balance is now over £3 million. But inexplicably, our budgets have shrunk. And I don't know how. We haven't had an email about budgets, but we've somehow gone down from a £600,000 budget to a £53,000 budget, but there's no extra wage budget available. I don't know where that £500,000 has gone. I haven't signed anybody. But the club finances are looking a lot healthier thanks to that cash injection from the chairman and the mysterious sponsorship. But it isn't helping us at all off the pitch, or on the pitch, I guess. Helps us out quite a lot off the pitch. On the pitch, not so much. I still haven't sold anybody. There's not even any progress on potentially finding somebody who might be able to be sold. So, yeah. I still have high hopes for the summer. On a separate note, though, I mean, it's always worth a quick look. The Arsenal job is available. Am I ready for Arsenal yet? Or I could go to Middlesbrough, Birmingham women's team, Leipzig. I think these are probably all jobs I wouldn't get. I'm thinking we'd probably need to move to a Championship club. Sheffield United. I mean, of all of them, Sheffield United is probably the most realistic, but it feels kind of sidewaysy. I think we see it out and see what happens. I have faith that a Saudi Arabian club will come in and give me £15 million. Well, this is exciting. We've got a player going to the Euro Under-19 Championship for England. Rob Harley, a young striker who can also play across the attacking midfield three. He scored on his debut for us last season. I vaguely remember that happening. He was when we threw all the youngsters in on that last day. He's been out on loan at Wycombe, where he's not really been scoring goals in League Two, but I'd like to think they've been playing him out wide, but he's good enough to be going off with England under-19s at 17 years old. Decent value to him as well. So we have got a nice little selection of good young players coming through. Interesting as well, John Morling used to be Posh youth development guy. Is he England under-19s manager in real life? He's not. Oh, there you go, look. So he, 20 years later, decided to come back in game. Is he back at Posh in real life? 2026? No, I'm very confused now. But yeah, John Morling, my guy, taken a player off to the under-19s, which is, he's one of a few very good young players that we've got. If we have a look at our full squad, sort them by potential, we've obviously got Palermo that we know about. Harley is apparently better on current ability than Palermo. These guys both pushing for first team spots. We've just turned down an offer from, I think it was Blackburn, for Philip Gleeson, who's a 16-year-old. So he's attracting some interest. We have got quite the assortment of young talent. So we might just have to become a youth development team through, needs must. Because no matter how we shuffle this around, it doesn't get any more attractive. We have got a lot of players due to leave in a week, so it'll look a little bit better in a week's time. But Championship wages, I mean, if you look at what our best players are being paid, even if 3 or 4 of the old guys go, like if we look at the ones who are out of contract, there's going to be 10 grand a week coming there. We've maybe got 15 to 20 grand being freed up by players leaving, which is 1 to 2 players in the Championship. And there's still nobody who wants Mr. Tickle. I was so convinced I was right at the time, and I'm now worried I might have been less right than I thought. Right, it is contract expiry day, so a lot of fringies have left the club. Rina Motta, what a disaster of a signing that was. Atkinson, who we used quite a lot last year but was old and expensive. Murray, who was expensive but inexplicably sold a lot of shirts. Harley Mills, who we never really used. And a lot of the youngsters have moved on, all of which means we still don't have much more money than we had to begin with. If we have a look at the squad planner as it stands right now, we can get an idea of what we need. So goalkeeper-wise, we're obviously set. We could probably sell one of these if we got an offer. At left-back, Fernandez and Faris, they were fine last year fighting over that position. They're going to have to be fine again this year. We could probably do with another one. And if someone wants to take Richard Elise, he is very much available. I actually thought he was out of contract. Some of these players have contracts that are far too long. Let's try and get him gone because he is just not good enough on either side. We don't have a right back, so we're going to need a right back. He's another one who we're definitely going to need to get rid of. Let's get his agent to try and get him gone. It looks like his agent is going to get him gone, which is very splendid. Is he on the transfer list? Let's make sure these useless players are on the transfer list. Annoyingly, Alfie Cresswell, we accepted a £500,000 offer from Crawley and he turned down going there. So that's quite frustrating. We're going to stick him on the transfer list and try and get him gone as well. Hopefully someone comes to see. No one wants him now. We could have had £500,000 for him. Just get him offered out. Also, and then at centre-back, we've got Carragher, we've got Faris, we've got Kian Noble as a backup and nothing else really. So as a minimum, we need a couple of right-backs, a left-back and at least one centre-back. We've all seen the minimal budget we've got available. I think Martin Palermo might be moving up into the first team squad. In midfield, we've lost, what's-his-face, Sol, whatever his name was, Gordon. Was that his name? It was Sol Gordon, wasn't it? He's gone back to his parent clubs. We couldn't afford to pay his fee. We have still got Mason Miley Higgs. At least we signed him permanently. So he's probably going to be locked in at the base of the midfield, him or Smith, rotating that role. None of the rest of this lot are good enough to do it. JJ McKiernan probably isn't going to be good enough to make the step up, but he's the best central midfielder we've got at the moment. O'Neill might become a central midfielder. The youngster Levi Houndstrup might be playing some football for us this year, which is, I mean, it's pretty clear we need a couple of midfielders. Up front, we've got Dale Taylor, who we really do want to get rid of. It's frustrating that he's still here, but nobody wants him. Is he even on the transfer list? He's asked to be on the transfer. He's asked to leave. I'm now asking him to leave, and hopefully we can. There's just nobody wants him. Get him out of here. Where's the squad planner gone? There it is. Sadie, we have offered a new contract to. I think he'll be fine as an option up front, and I guess we've got to hope that Rob Harley goes from not being good enough for the League Two to being a Championship striker after going to the Under-19 Euros, and then we've got a bunch of other players who aren't really good enough. And then on the left, we've got Wood, who does want a new contract. We might offer him a new contract, actually, because I think we probably do need to keep him around. So let's see what we can offer him. See, he wants such a big pay rise. But if we try and push him, he's not having any of this. That all works. Oh, there you go. Probably could have offered even lower, but Wood we will keep around because he's just useful to have on that left-hand side. Then we've got a bunch of the youngsters again. Jude McRobbie has moved up into the first team squad. He's got bags of potential. So we're probably good for wide players. Cabia, obviously, on the other side. And again, various youngsters. Ingram's gone out on loan again for another year, but he's another youngster. We've got a lot of good young players out wide, but we certainly need to bring in new defenders and a midfielder or two. We don't have a lot of money to do it. So I guess let's see what we can bring in on the free transfers and then maybe abuse loans. Oh, Football Manager, never change. Our summer starts here. Dale Taylor has gone on loan to Cambridge for the season. They're basically not paying any of his wages, but do have an optional future fee at £9.75 million, of which I've been given a chunk to spend now, even though there's no way Cambridge will ever give it to us. And I didn't force that through. I had many, many offers for that guy that were basically no money, loan contribution, but optional future fee. So I'm not going to argue. I'm just going to take it and I'm going to go and spend my £4 million. We have done some business. About a month has passed. It had been a very frustrating window up until this point. We managed to get rid of some of the fringe players. So Alfie Cresswell went to Salford for £500,000. Richard Elise went to Stockport for 62,000, and we've loaned out a lot of the young players. But bringing players in has been an ordeal. We've only made 4 signings so far, and none of them are defenders. So we've got Meso, who is a 26-year-old Spanish midfielder, can play defensive midfield, attacking midfield, anywhere in the central midfield. I'd call that a central midfielder. He's got 3 stars of current ability, was previously of whoever Sansa are in whatever that league is. He's not expected to be a regular starter, but he's in as a squad option for us. Someone who I am expecting to start is Liam Gibbs, who's 29 years old. He's a natural defensive midfielder, can also play central midfield. He is 29, but he's also 3.5 stars of current ability and a decent championship player. He comes in from McDonald's, having spent the majority of his career playing for Norwich, having spent the majority of his career sat on the bench for Norwich in the Championship, but he has got that season playing for McDonald's down in League One last season, so he is in as well. This guy was a bit of a bargain. Othman Mama, I assume is how we say his name. He's come in as a rotation option for us on either wing. Relatively cheap, 26 years old, only cost me like £170,000. He's previously of Portsmouth, Watford, Montpellier. He's had a season at Salford where he didn't pull up any trees, but 3 stars of current ability, 3.5 stars of potential, nice and cheap, can cover anywhere across the front 3, and very decent physical attributes. And you know I like a physical attribute. And then our headline signing of the summer so far, Asia Bonel, is a 24-year-old Spanish striker, 3.5 stars of current ability, 4-star potential. We have a guy who's potentially a leading championship striker. He was playing for Dundee United in the Scottish Premiership last year, so coming to the second tier in England, huge step up, but hopefully he can make the huge step up and score more goals than he did last year. But I'm look at his non-competitive goals. I'm excited at the potential of non-competitive goals. But like I say, all of that was the result of a frustrating summer so far. It is the 31st of July. The season starts in a week, but our summer starts here with £4 million to spend, and we still have a lot of business to do. The defence, we are down to bare bones in the defence. You can see there's even players on here who we had on trial who we've not actually signed. So in fact, if we take these guys up, this guy, by the way, I thought I'd cracked it with 425,000 they want for this 27-year-old 6'6" centre-back who can play right back. Agreed terms, he came in and asked for £40,000 a week. What am I supposed to do in a world where players want £40,000 a week? But he would have been absolutely perfect. But if we take the trialists out of here, you can see we are getting light. Farries, we've just accepted a £1.2 million offer from Aberdeen as well. So we're potentially going to be down to 2 players who can play either right back or centre back with a week to go before the start of the season. So we need to bring in some defenders as a matter of urgency, which I'm going to try and do now. Well, it turns out transfers take forever to go through. We've had Rule Walters turn down a loan, which is frustrating. Tyler Binden, we've been able to get him to agree to terms on 22.5 grand a week. He'd be our highest paid player, but for whatever reason, he's hanging around, delaying the deal, I guess waiting for Millwall to come in. He was playing in the Premier League last year for Wrexham, so it's quite the wage drop if he agrees to come, but maybe he's buying into the project. We've also got this guy that we're trying to bring in from Barnsley. But again, we're waiting for him to do something. And we've got a loan that we're trying to get in from Brighton as well, who I'm probably going to end up playing at right back, even though he can't play there. But he can play defensive midfield and right midfield, so to my mind, that makes him a right back. We're delaying Martin Palermo's loan out to Chesterfield. He's going out to Chesterfield for the season, but at the moment we're delaying it because he's going to have to play. It's the first day of the season, and at the moment we've got 2 teenagers in our back 4. Palermo at 17 will start at centre-back, and Lee Woolham at 16 years old will be starting at right back, because we don't have our defenders in yet. We've just sold Farris as well. So he's gone to Aberdeen for 1.2 million pounds. So there's plenty of money. We've got loads of money. We just need to get defenders in now. I suspect the media aren't going to look very favourably on us. No, we're expected to finish rock bottom, as you would expect. Mr. Tickle is going to have to do a lot of lifting in that defence. But, I mean, the front four, front five is new look and very exciting. Bonell up front, Mama on the left, Wood on the right, Messo and Gibbs in midfield, Miley behind them. That looks solid, especially when you look at the backups. We've got McKeon, we've got Sadie, we've got Cabia, we've got young Jude McRobbie. We've got plenty of options going forward. It's just the defence is an absolute disaster zone. Kean Noble isn't fully fit. He's just got back into full training today. I mean, he could step into the defence potentially, but he's probably not better than Palermo or Carragher. So I guess he could maybe come in and Carragher could push out to right back. But Woolham's supposedly a better fit than Palermo anyway. So this guy's kind of emerged from nowhere. He's a youngster we signed from Liverpool last year. So he's going to come in and play. We really need some defenders. We're away against Charlton. Charlton are a team we've got to get a result out of if we've got any hope of staying in the league. This is not the time for us to have no defenders. Well, we have some new defenders. Tyler Binden is in. We're paying him a lot of money, but he's 6'6", and you can't teach that. Not only is he 6'6", he was a Premier League player last season. Yes, he only played 3 matches, but he dropped down to the Championship with, in fact, that was 2 years ago. I don't know how he had an active relegation release clause when he got relegated over a year ago, and he actually only played 7 times in the Championship. I may not have read his details. I could have been blinded by how tall he is. Either way, he's 6'6", he's awesome, and he's in. We've also got Ettore Quirini, who's a 29-year-old Italian right back. He's come in from Salernitana, where he's been playing regularly for the last goodness knows how many years. So we have a right back, and we also have a left back, and he's Brazilian. He's Denner. He's 6'5". You can't teach that either. We've got some big boys coming in. Look at that jumping reach. Look at it. Shame he can't head, but there's going to be enough just having the ball hit him for him to be spectacular. We're going to score some set pieces this season. He's just been plucked fresh out of Brazil. Still only 24 years old, and I am very excited to have him in. All of that means we're about there, I think. We've got 2 options at left back, Denner and Fernandez. At right back, we've got Quirini, and then Binden or Carragher can cover for him. Centre back, it's Binden, Carragher, Noble, but we've also got Palermo, who I think I'm going to cancel his loan, and he can just be the 4th centre back for us this season. Yeah, we could probably do with one more guy who could maybe cover right back and centre back, but we're getting a bit low on money. In midfield, we've got loads of options. I'm really happy with how the midfield is looking. Maybe one more guy to play defensive midfield so that Gibbs and Miley are freed up to play further forward would be nice, but not essential. And again, out wide, we've got Mama, Cabia and Wood. If we could get one more guy, it would be nice, but not essential. And up front, Bonell as the starter, Sadie as the backup, I think is fine. He's already got his first couple of goals for the club, 1 in the league, 1 in the cup. The only problem is we've not started very well, and this is what the Championship table looks like. 2 games in, we're down in 19th place. So now we've got our defenders in, we do need to pick up a couple of wins before the window closes. We've got 3 more league games before the transfer window closes, 2 of which are at home. If we're in the relegation zone when the window closes, we have a problem. We've got money to maybe bring in a loan or 2. Let's see what we can find. Well, that transfer window has ended a lot better than it started, all thanks to Cambridge United and a striker I hated. But we have done some very useful business towards the end of the window that has resulted in us loaning out a few more of the youngsters. Woolham and Palermo have both also got on loan to Cambridge to join Dale Taylor, who of course financed all of these shenanigans because we don't need them anymore. We've signed so many defenders that they can go out and play for Cambridge down in League One and hopefully get some much needed game time playing together as well, which is going to be quite handy for them, hopefully. Because we, in addition to bringing in the 3 you'd already seen, Binden, Quirini and Denner, brought in 2 more defenders, Bram Roivers is an 18-year-old Dutch centre-back who can also play left-back and right-back. He's 6'4". We've got so many big boys now. Loads of potential. Look at his value. He's on loan from Ajax until the end of the season. For us to be able to get a player on loan from Ajax with that kind of value and that kind of potential as a backup, I mean, he'll probably play ahead of Carragher, but officially he's a backup. But yeah, very happy to have him in. And then we've also got Greg Somerville, who's an 18-year-old defensive midfielder who can also play centre-back. 2.5 stars of current ability, 5 stars of potential. He's on loan for the season from Villa. And then just to finish things off, because we had some budget left, we decided to get a couple of wingers. So Shola Jimo is a 24-year-old English left winger, 3.5 stars of current ability, 4 stars of potential. He's on loan from Palermo. And then Ross Webster has just come in on deadline day. He's an 18-year-old Scottish right winger on loan from Rangers until the end of the season. 3 stars of current ability, 5 stars of potential for him as well. He's tiny, but quite quick, which is quite handy. All of which means our squad planner is looking so much healthier now than it was before. We've obviously still got the 2 very good goalkeepers. We've managed to keep Mr. Tickle, who, by the way, his value has now gone up to £21 million. So I was right all along. I knew it. At left back, we've got Denner as the starter, Fernandez as backup, and Roivers can cover anywhere across the back 4. At right back, Quirini would be the starter, and then any one of Roivers, Bindon, or Carragher could cover there if he's not available to play. At centre-back, I would expect Bindon and Roivers to be the starters. Carragher backup at both centre-back and right-back. Kean Noble, obviously, as a 4th choice centre-back as well, which is what he is always signed to be. And Greg Somerville, in an emergency, can slot in there as well. At defensive midfield, Miley would probably be the starter, but could just as easily be Somerville or Gibbs. Matthew Smith's got on the transfer list, but nobody wanted him, which is a little bit unfortunate. And then in central midfield, we've got Gibbs, McKiernan, O'Neill, Miley, Messo, who can all start in that role. It's probably an area that's the next place to be strengthened, that central midfield position, but we're not going to worry too much about that now. Up front, we've got Bonnell as the starter, Sadie as backup, but Mama can play there as well, and so can Cabia and various other of these players. And on the left-hand side, we've got Jimmo, we've got Wood, Mama and Cabia can both play there as well. O'Neill can play there as well. We've got young Jude McRobbie, who really we probably should have sorted out a loan for, but he's still knocking around for now. And then on the right hand side, any one of Mama, Webster, Cabia could start. O'Neill can play there, so can McRobbie, so can McKiernan. We've got some very good players, and we finally showed it in our most recent match where we picked up a 4-1 win over Sheffield Wednesday. Expect Tyler Bindon to score plenty of goals this season. He is a threat from the set pieces, all of which means 4 games in, we're 18th in the league, which is not the relegation zone. So that's a bonus. The media still think we're going to go straight back down. I think we're going to survive and hopefully build on it going forward. We are over our budgets, but we're not going to worry too much about that. We've got some money in the bank. We could always sell Mr. Tickle if need be, but I'm pretty happy with how this squad is looking now. And if we have a look at what the game thinks my best 11 is, I mean, that's a pretty good side. A completely new look back 4 is always a little bit alarming, but I think that is a pretty good team in the circumstances with the money that we had available to come out of the summer with that 11. I think that is some impressive stuff, and you'll get to see them in action for the first time tomorrow, where we'll play our first couple of games after the window is closed in the Championship. But if you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Don't forget, Bedford is back on the LOLLUJO Live as well. So if you want to see how the Bedford story would have continued if we'd have never have come to Wigan, the first highlights video for that is out now. The first live stream was last night, and we're going to be back streaming a good 2 or 3 times a week on the LOLLUJO Live and Twitch with regular highlights videos over there as well. So go over and check those out. Well, thank you very much for watching.